let's look at how to make something random in ActionScript. So whenever you want to look up any kind of ActionScript class or pre-made functions, you'll type into Google AS3, which stands for ActionScript 3.0, and then the name of that class or the name of what you want to look up. Notice that the second thing down here is the Adobe ActionScript 3 API reference. API stands for Application Programming Interface. An API is directions on how to use pre-written code in libraries. You can see that we've made it to the math class. Usually a random method is part of a math class in most programming languages. And if I look down here in that math class, I see that they do indeed have a random function. It's a static function, so I'll use the class name to call this function. Notice what it returns. It returns a pseudo-random number, n, where n is greater than 0 or equal to 0 and less than 1. So it's going to give me a decimal number, something that's less than 1, which is a common thing to do in programming languages, to give you a number between 0 and 1. Alright, let's see how to use this code. So hopefully you figured out where you need to put that random code. You need to put it here instead of adding 6 pixels every time the enemy sees that the ball movement has moved. We'll want this to be random so that sometimes we can get the ball past our enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and comment out that code. Now I'm going to use the math class, so I'll use the name of that class, which is math. I use the dot operator, and then I'm going to call that random function from that math class. It's going to give me a number between 0 and 1. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that number by 4. Now the reason I want to multiply it by 4 is I want my range to be a 4. Meaning that this right here will give me a number between 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to add 2 to that number, so now I will have a number between 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that code. Let's try that again. I'm going to go ahead and copy that code, Command C, and go ahead and paste that code and comment out that 6 over there. So every time that I want him to move, now he's going to move more randomly. I'll go ahead and save my code and run. Now if you still are losing and your player is still winning, it might be because his size is so very large that it's hard to get it past him. So another thing that you could adjust to make sure that you do actually get it past him once in a while is to go over to your Pong.flaw file, click on your enemy, and double click on him so that you're editing your enemy. You can see that you're editing him up here. Use your free transform tool and make your enemy a little bit smaller. Now when you do this, make sure that his white circle stays aligned with his crosshairs so that his point of reference stays the same. I can save him and run my code again. Of course I should go back to scene 1 and delete that enemy from the stage. And now hopefully I will eventually get it past my enemy object. Now if you're still losing and you still can't get it past your enemy object, you could increase the range here. So if I multiply it by 5, then I have a number between 0 and 4. And I can add 1 And then one last thing that you can do if you still cannot get it past your enemy is you could try increasing that max speed. Go ahead and up the max speed a little bit, and so the ball will travel a little bit faster. Yay, we finally got it past the enemy.